Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a blue and yellow 782. It came from a ball field. It's actually what they used to rake a ball field in Erie, Pennsylvania at a local school. This machine is supposed to run. It's been sitting for quite some time. Waited for about 2 weeks to get this machine in. The gentleman that brought it in said it's been sitting for about 3 years. So I'll give you a walk around and then we're going to take the carburetor right off. I've had it firing, but I can't get it to run. It's the carburetor is full of stuff or the fuel pump is not working. I can't get it to pick up fuel. So we're going to open up the hood and we're going to see what we have. Panels are even red inside. They have a bracket right there to hold the throttle. I don't know if they just had too short of a throttle cable, so they changed it, but I've never seen anything quite like that before. Takes a 7/16 here. Half inch in this area right here. And I know I said it before, this one right here, which I'll move the camera, is your ground for your headlights. I'm not sure if I'm gonna put this machine together. I wanna hear it run. Been told it smokes, we'll see. Does have some fuel in it, but I don't believe I'm going to take a gamble on that. Air cleaner cover off. That'll tell a lot of the story, how well it's been cared for, how bad the air cleaner is. And it doesn't look bad at all. Now, when you put these back together, instead of putting a nut on them, all you have to do is put a piece of gas line. They originally were orange, but they had a rubber piece that went right on there to sandwich that down. You don't have to put a nut. Just take some old gas line, push it right over the top of it. It's 1/4 inch will work. Makes it a little bit neater job. We're gonna take them screws out right there. Put a glove right down here in case I drop one of these screws. We're going to take this air cleaner cover right off. This is a lot cleaner than I expected. I'm using a magnetized socket, but that doesn't guarantee that the magnet is going to suck that screw out of there. And it wouldn't have, but... Now, I just bought another 782. It's coming from the Niagara Falls area. Been buying a lot of 782s. This one's a yellow and white one. A lot of them have been coming in this year. Last year, I didn't get as many. I think I've already bought this year more than I bought all last year. I'll have to get a thinner socket. And I drop that right down through. Okay, we'll see if everything looks about right, and it does. We're going to take the carburetor off in the manifold here, and then we're going to take the choke off last. Then we're going to tear this carburetor apart. Holy cow, they have them tight. I would say that carburetor's been off. Get one of these crowfoot type wrenches. They just make your job so much easier. And you also see that with a fuel tank off, it just makes it a lot simpler to work on. Now I dropped that nut down through there, but we're gonna take the carburetor off, so I'll grab that. Now we're gonna take off the choke. We're gonna cut that gas line out. I don't think they have the right gas line on there. I think they put 5/16 gas line on there. We'll cut that. Yep, they did. They put 5/16 gas line on there. You don't want to use 5/16 because you might get some air in there from your fuel pump. And there's 5/16 on the regular gas line too then. So that could be some of the issue. You want to use 1/4 inch. So let's tear this carburetor apart. And we're going to see how dirty it is inside. We're getting quite a storm. Oh yeah, it's really dirty. Let's take that float out. Take the gasket out. Like to save that gasket. So we're going to let that soak. We're going to spray it down. We're going to let that soak for a little bit. You can see all the goo in there. The way this video is working out, I'll probably have that 782 in before this is over. We're gonna let that sit for about a half an hour, clean it a few more times, and actually the 782 is pulling in right now. So we're gonna let this soak for a little bit. I'll show you the 782 before that video is over. Good morning, it's the next day and we're going to reassemble this carburetor. I'm going to put a little bit more cleaner in it, carb and choke cleaner. We're going to reassemble it. This carburetor is extremely dirty inside. I'm not awfully happy with the bowl, but I did get it cleaned up pretty good. Hopefully we can save that gasket like normal. Now, I had to quit filming yesterday, and it's Sunday, and I'm going to show you what came in here. So we're going to reassemble it. Or spray it down with WD-40. Like I said before, there's two reasons why I use WD-40. It makes it quicker to start. They assemble a lot easier. Make it a little easier to put this gasket in. Hopefully we can save it. We might not be able to on this one. spray it down with some carb cleaner and then it'll fit. For some reason it shrunk. Usually they expand. And I believe we have it. Put the other gasket in. Now we'll spray it again. Put the nut on. We should be in pretty good shape. I had to take that carburetor, put it right on the machine right over here and leave it. We're gonna come back to that a little bit later today. I'm gonna show you what came in here yesterday, and I have to move on to a different project. I have quite a few people coming in here today. Had a 782 come in. I actually mowed with it a little bit yesterday. It's a little bit, I think the carburetor is extremely dirty on that. It might not be firing on one cylinder quite correctly. It's not smoking, but it's just not running quite right. This was a gentleman's backup mower. It has a 50C deck on it. She's pretty hammered. Came from Harvey Fenning in Newfane. It does have the emblem. The lights work. You can see the deck is just kind of whooped. A good friend brought this one in, and we're going to take the hubcaps off in a few seconds, and actually I'm going to film them. I'm going to get them cleaned up. This one over here is extremely rusty. I'm going to use some of that Permatex cleaner on it, and the fronts are not awfully shiny either, but they're going to be leaving here today. Also had on Friday night late, it was almost dark, 2284 that came in, has electrical issue, a lot of water in the fuel. Bought 2 supers this past week. I love the supers. 2284 is probably one of the best machines ever manufactured, but they chopped up wiring, and I'll open up the hood and I'll show you. They chopped the wiring up in that area right there. You can see the right there is where they snipped them. So I'm going to probably put a harness in it. I don't like to splice the wires. I like everything to look just about like original. The hood needs a little work. The hinge is broke. I am thinking about changing how a hood goes up. What I'm thinking is, and I stuttered a little bit, instead of tipping them up, I'm thinking about building them so all you do is set them down on the machine, and then they wouldn't be such a problem on the front nose piece. But eventually here, this film will go back into that 782. We'll get the carburetor on that and get it fired. But today we're going to move on to a little bit different area. Have so many people coming in, we probably won't get to it until Monday. Sometimes the filming takes 2 to 3 days because of the customers coming in and out. But thank you so much for watching, and we'll get that refilmed tomorrow on the fire up of that 782. Good Monday morning, everyone. Let's start getting this carburetor back on this 782. We're going to change the gas line first, and the reason why we're going to change the gas line, they put 5/16 on there, and it might not seal right up. Let me get the light moved around there so we can see just a tad better. These take 1/4 inch. A lot of times when your fuel pump loses prime, that's your issue, is it used 5/16 instead of, you can see there's a lot of difference in it. This is 1/4 inch, this is 5/16. Now, before you put the carburetor in, you definitely want to change the line. I always change the line for the simple reason is, then you don't have any problem. I cut this one about 7 inches. I cut the one that goes and feeds the fuel pump around 7 inches also. Now I did check, and I'm going to show you this before the end of this film here. It did not have the right spark plugs in it. They used the long neck ones, and they're supposed to be short. These are around 13/16 long. You want to have just about 3/8 long. So they're 14 millimeter plugs. I wondered why the spark plugs came out so hard, and then as soon as I saw that they had the 13/16 ones in there, I knew that they were wrong. They don't work as well, so it's a good way to screw up a head. Going to, actually I'm going to spray that down too. Now I use a lot of WD-40. I'm hoping this really runs well. Had a little bit of oil in one cylinder. It could have been gas too. There. Get the half nuts on. It does have a gasket. I checked that. They're a little tight putting them nuts on. Definitely get one of these wrenches. I know I mentioned that earlier in the film. Spray some WD-40 down it. Now let's replace the supply line right to the fuel pump. Now, I didn't check it, and I really should have, to see if the fuel pump is working. And the reason I didn't, because I wanted to show you that they put the wrong fuel lines on there. If we have to, we'll replace that, but we'll do that in a different video. That isn't the easiest job. You have to take the side covers off to do that. You can see they use 5/16 on that one too. Let me get a clamp. Ooh, there's a little bit of stuff in there. Let me blow that out. An auxiliary tank, and I'm just gonna put it on there. I have a snowblower tank I use. Actually, it's off an Aaron's. A little bit of motivation. see if she starts back up. Now, there's a lot of WD-40 all over. When I changed the spark plugs, I sprayed it down because the threads were a little bit of a problem in that area right there. So I sprayed them down with a lot of WD-40. That's why it's smoking a little bit. But let's see if the electric clutch works with it. I couldn't hear it with the motor running. I don't believe it is. But let's see if she starts again. See if she starts one more time. I'm extremely happy. I believe in the muffler, it had a lot of fuel in it. Had to get it burned off. It's not smoking nearly as bad. I'm definitely going to change oil. It's been sitting for 3 years. I did check. I have plenty of oil in it. Get the motor cleaned off, adjust and get this all back to original right here. Put the bracket in that goes to the intake manifold and get the air cleaner back in. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. There's always something here to fix, and we definitely have a lot of videos to be making here. So thank you for tuning in, like I said, and we'll definitely see you again.